Breaking the chains. You have more in you. You've been told you're not enough for so long, you started believing it. Not smart enough, not talented enough, not disciplined enough, not lucky enough. Let me tell you something. That voice isn't yours. It was given to you by society, by broken people, by a system that profits off your doubt. You were not born insecure. You were not born afraid. You were taught that. And if it was taught, it can be unlearned. Fear, the invisible jail. Most people aren't held back by failure. They're held back by the fear of failure. They don't chase dreams not because they can't, but because they're afraid. Afraid to lose money, afraid to look stupid, afraid to be judged, afraid to fail. But here's the truth. Fear is a liar. The worst pain in life is not failure. It's regret. That moment when you're older, looking back and realizing, I could have done more. Fear tells you to wait. Regret reminds you that you waited too long. You're not stuck, you're just scared. And fear only has power when you obey it. You are not a victim of your past. Maybe your parents never believed in you. Maybe you grew up in poverty. Maybe you were bullied, rejected, ignored. But that is your origin story, not your final chapter. You don't need permission to become great. You don't need a degree to have discipline. You don't need followers to have faith. All you need is to stop telling yourself the same old story. The one that says you're not meant for more. The one that says people like me don't succeed. The one that whispers you'll fail again. That story is the real prison. You've been replaying it for years. And every time you do, you chain yourself tighter. But here's the good news. You can rewrite it. Right now. This second. This breath. Your mind is a battlefield. Your success isn't determined by your background. It's determined by your beliefs. Your mind is a battlefield. And every day you either win or lose in your thoughts. Here's a truth most never hear. You become what you consistently tell yourself. You tell yourself you're lazy. You act lazy. You tell yourself you're broken. You live broken. You tell yourself you're nothing. You attract nothing. But what if you said, I'm not perfect, but I'm capable. I'm scared, but I'll try anyway. I'm tired, but I'm not done. You don't need to fake confidence. You just need to feed your courage. And courage is built, not found. Real story, the single mother who refused to break. There's a woman I know, single mother of 3, worked 2 jobs, barely slept, but every night she'd write 1 page, then 2, then 10. She had a dream of becoming an author, but no time, no support, no extra money. Still, she wrote. People laughed. You, a writer, you're just a waitress. She smiled, kept writing. 5 years later, she self-published her book. It sold 300 copies, not much. But the next one sold 10,000. The third, over 100,000. She now speaks on stages. She runs writing workshops. She's not rich, but she's free. Why? Because she believed her struggle was not her identity. She believed she had more in her, even when no one else did. And that belief became power. There is power in small steps. You don't have to change everything overnight. The journey doesn't start with a leap. It starts with a whisper. I want more. And then a decision. I will try. 1 page, 1 workout, 1 morning without the snooze button, 1 hour without scrolling. That's how you rise. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to move while afraid. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet voice that says, "Let's go again." You have more in you than you've been told. There is fire in your bones. There is strength in your scars. There is wisdom in your wounds. And there is a life waiting for you on the other side of fear. You are not done. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are becoming. Break the chains. Rewrite the story. You were not born to stay where you are. You were born to rise. From survival to significance. Most people are surviving. Few are truly living. You know the difference? Survival is reactive. Living with significance is intentional. When you're in survival mode, life happens to you. When you rise into purpose, life begins to happen through you. You start asking deeper questions, not how do I pay the bills, but what kind of legacy am I leaving? Not what's the safest path, but what would I regret not doing? This shift is not about fame or wealth. It's about meaning. It's about waking up and knowing you're not wasting your time here. One decision can change everything. People think change takes years, but it doesn't. It takes one moment, one decision. The day you say, "Enough, I want more, I deserve more." That's when the shift begins. You might still have the same job, same house, same clothes, same surroundings, but something inside of you changes. You're no longer asleep. You're no longer accepting scraps. You've remembered who you are. And when that inner decision is made, the world begins to respond. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Don't wait for a miracle. Be the miracle. We're raised to wait. Wait for the right moment. Wait for motivation. Wait for a break. Wait for permission. But that wait, it becomes a life. Years pass. Dreams fade. Confidence erodes. And we blame time or fate or luck. But maybe we just needed to stop waiting and start choosing. You don't need a miracle. You need to be the miracle for your family, for your children, for yourself. Someone in your bloodline has to break the cycle. Someone has to rise first. Why not you? Real story. The factory worker who chose to matter. There was a man who worked in a steel factory. Every day, loud machines, hard labor, tired eyes. His hands were rough, his back always sore. But in his locker, he kept a journal. Each break, he wrote down quotes, thoughts, ideas, dreams. People mocked him. "You think you're better than us?" He never replied. One day, he submitted a short article to a local newspaper. It was published, then another, then another. Over time, he left the factory, became a columnist, then a speaker, then a mentor to others in his community. He didn't start with a plan. He started with a choice. I will not let this be the end of my story. That choice, that belief, that fire, it took him from survival to significance. The pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of growth. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires change, risk, effort. But you know what's worse? Staying the same, living the same year over and over and calling it a life, hiding your gifts, suppressing your truth, living under your potential while watching others rise. That pain, that's the pain of regret, and that pain never fades. But the pain of growth, that one heals, because every step forward brings power, every small win builds belief, and every hard decision for your future self makes you proud. Your life is bigger than you think. You think no one notices you. You think your story doesn't matter. You think your efforts are too small. But what if someone is watching you and being inspired? What if your decision to wake up early, or read more, or try again, is changing your children's future? What if your fight, right now, is creating
creating freedom for someone you haven't even met yet. This isn't just about your life, it's about the people around you, the people who come after you. You rising gives them permission to rise too. Final words, rise. Now, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. You've survived long enough. You've settled long enough. You've been silent long enough. It's time to choose meaning. It's time to wake up. It's time to rise. You were not born to be average. You were born to break chains, to build legacy, to leave fire in your footsteps. So rise. Rise in your thoughts. Rise in your habits. Rise in your vision. You were not born to be average. You were born to rise.
The lie of being just enough. I've seen too many people sleepwalking through life, quiet, obedient, never causing trouble. Wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. Life, for them, is survival. Just make it to the weekend, just get through the month. They call that living. I used to be one of them. I told myself, at least I have a roof over my head, food on the table. What more can I ask for? That lie was comfortable, safe. It kept me numb. It kept me small. It made me believe that being average was enough. But here's the truth. Average is a lie. It's the softest prison you'll ever live in. They tell you to fit in. Don't dream too big. Don't stand out. Play it safe. Get a job. Pay your bills. Wait for retirement. Then die. And we accept it because everyone around us is doing the same. But deep down, you feel it, don't you? That whisper in your soul that says, this isn't it. This isn't who I'm meant to be. The comfort trap. You don't die from fear. You die from comfort. See, fear at least pushes you. But comfort slowly kills your hunger, your fire, your purpose. It's the most dangerous drug in the world. It looks harmless. A steady job, Netflix at night, fast food on the way home. But it eats your dreams alive. Comfort never asks anything of you. It doesn't demand growth, sacrifice, or courage. It just asks you to stay. Stay the same, stay silent, stay small. And most people do. But here's the twist. Even while they stay comfortable, they're not happy. They're tired, empty, unfulfilled. Because your soul was never designed to settle. It was built to rise. You were born with fire. When you were born, you had fire in you. You didn't come into this world to be just another number. You were created unique, full of potential, full of life. But the world told you to quiet down. Your school told you you're average. Your job told you you're replaceable. Your environment told you to stop dreaming. And worst of all, you started believing it. That's how the fire begins to die, not all at once, but slowly, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who you've become. You smile, but it's fake. You live, but you're numb. And yet, there's still a spark. There's still a part of you that remembers who you were meant to be. That voice inside. It's not dead. It's just buried. You can still rise. You just need to wake up. Ordinary is a choice. So is greatness. You don't get to choose where you were born or how you were raised, but you do get to choose how you respond. You do get to choose whether you stay average or rise. You were not born to just wake up, work, pay bills, and die. You were born to live fully, to shine, to lead, to leave something behind. The difference between the ones who rise and the ones who stay stuck. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not money, it's a decision. Average is a decision, so is greatness. Which one are you making right now? Real story. The bus driver, who decided to change. I knew a man. He drove a city bus for over 15 years, woke up at 6 a.m., drove the same route, came home exhausted. His life was routine, predictable, safe. But one day, something changed. He saw a young man get on his bus, headphones on, book in hand, eyes on fire. The driver couldn't stop watching him. This young man had something he'd lost: ambition. That day, he couldn't sleep. He went home and asked himself, "Is this it? Is this all there is for me?" The next morning, he woke up earlier than usual, picked up a book, started reading. A week later, he watched his first motivational video. A month later, he started writing down his ideas. Within 5 years, that bus driver left his job and opened his own small business. He didn't win the lottery. He didn't wait for motivation. He simply made a choice. No more average. And that decision changed everything. This is your wake-up call. If you're watching this, maybe this is your moment. Maybe this is the day you stop settling. Maybe this is your wake-up call. You've been average long enough. You've dimmed your light for too long. It's time to rise. You were not born to be average. You were born to rise.